What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome back to After the Snap. I'm your host, Tasha Pierce, and today is one of my favorite days of the week. Today is the day that we get to talk about some of these shows that we enjoy so much. And the ones that we got on our menu today are well, I guess I have to point this way, right over here. That's Bel-Air, Star Trek Picard, and Star Trek Discovery. Now, as far as Bel-Air, we are on episode 8, I believe. I think 7, 7 or 8. Um, Star Trek Discovery, we are at the penultimate episode, which is episode 12. We got one more episode of Star Trek Discovery. And Star Trek Picard, we're just getting our feet, getting our little toes wet. We are at episode 2 of Star Trek Picard Penance. We got some to discuss, right? We got some stuff to discuss. If you're here, it's 6 o'clock. That means you did remember, I think, to move your clocks forward. So yay for you. Yay for you. I remembered. Of course, there's not that many clocks that you have to manually move forward anymore, but y'all remember? If you're here, you remembered. If not, you might catch this on the rebroadcast. Whichever way we look at it, don't forget to turn those clocks forward if you haven't done so yet. um, so yeah, I don't have any pictures for Bel-Air, and if I don't get any of the regular people who generally watch Bel-Air in the chat, I'm not going to discuss it. So if you're here and you're here to talk Bel-Air, let me know in the chat, because if not, I'm gonna push forward without it. That's just how I feel. Um, Bel-Air is a show worth watching. I am enjoying it thus far. They're taking it into a direction I hope we don't go. And if you are watching it, you might have an inkling of what I'm talking about. If not, then I don't want to spoil it for you if you're here and you're not here to discuss Bel-Air. Maybe Bel-Air has to be something that I do a video about at the end of the season if I don't get enough interest in the show. Now the shows that I what's up, Lysandra? You're in this thing. So yeah, I don't want to. I know Lysandra is one who is interested in Bel-Air. If you're interested in Bel-Air and you are in the audience right now, please say something in the chat. And also do me a big favor and hit the like button on this video. Thank you, girl. I feel tired. You say I look amazing. God, I must be pulling this thing off because I really feel exhausted. But yeah, but that's just, part and parcel of getting old, I guess. And I'd rather get old than the alternative. So so Bel-Air, before I start spoiling, because I'm telling you, I'm about to start spoiling because Lysandra is here. If there's anybody else who wants to hear Bel-Air, uh hit the like button. Well, I want you to hit the like button anyway. If anybody else in here wants to hear about Bel-Air, I'd like for you to say something in the chat. Forever, forever. If you can forever hold your peace. And I'm trying to take a look and see if I've got my likes. We shall see. We shall see. Okay, so you ready to chat about Bel-Air? Well, let's jump into it. This week's episode was called "Paybacks." Shut your mouth. So Paybacks. So you know what? That is this week's episode of Bel-Air. And as far as the episodes have gone, this one is probably, I don't know if I want to say my least favorite. I think it is. It's my least favorite. There were some things happening, but not an awful lot. This episode kind of is setting up what was different about the relationship between Carlton and Will. In this episode, Carlton finally got fed up with Connor making his little slick remarks. And I forgot what little racist thing that he said. Uh, he said, "Oh, this is one sport. This is one sport that we don't have to worry about them taking over." Talking about lacrosse, he was basically throwing shade at Carlton and his ability to play this sport, and also throwing shade at just black folks for excelling at everything that we touch. So they like, okay, we got this black guy. He's playing lacrosse, but he ain't gonna be better than us. This is one sport that's just for us. Carlton finally got upset and kind of hit him with a check that was probably an illegal check, and he ended up having to leave practice. And Connor, his wrist was broken, or some part of his arm was broken. So yeah, so now uh you said it was okay, Lysandra. So now we've got Carlton basically worried that he is going to be ostracized, that people are going to stop liking him because of this presumed attack on Connor. So, okay, Will is going to help Carlton. Will is like, I'm sick of the beef. We need to squash this stuff. I'm going to help you. You're going to get back in good with the student body. Forget Connor. You're going to get back in good with the student body, and everybody's going to love you. This what we're going to do tonight is going to change your image. And what they were going to do is going to have a good old Euphoria house party. House party would be a little different than house party. Lasandra said he helped him all right. Yeah, yeah. And I don't know. And because I only watched this episode one time, so I haven't broken into what Carlton is feeling in this moment. I haven't really formulated my thoughts on how I think he's feeling by the time this episode ends. But at the beginning of the episode, he was like, okay, I'm going to let you recraft my image. Will they have this good old Euphoria house party? And I call it a Euphoria house party because in the show Euphoria, y'all know they had those big old beautiful homes. All the grown-ups would just leave and leave the kids to have a big dumb party. And shit just happens. And this party is no different than any other teen house party. All the grown-ups was like, oh, we all going our separate ways. And now we got Hilary. Hilary is supervising this party, but she got problems of her own. Because remember last week, and I don't know why I can't scroll down to see what you put down here, Lysandra. Well, you said the song Payback is coming back. Yes. You know the problem that Hilary last week. Hilary, for some reason, filmed a video wearing lingerie. She was cooking some creme brulee and she had her lingerie on, and she, did a little sexy Hilary act. And this right here, I mean, she didn't want this video to be uploaded to YouTube and them. So I've got videos that I have recorded that I'm like, okay, after looking at it, I'm like, I can't upload this. I don't feel confident. But if you felt confident enough to put on some lingerie and to film an entire video, then why wouldn't you upload it? But of course, here we are. Hilary was like, you know what? I didn't tell this dude to upload this video. The dude Kylo, I think that's his name. He uploaded the video on YouTube because he thought that it was going to do some numbers. And that's really what YouTube, especially living in those influencer houses, YouTube, TikTok, they about doing numbers. So if he thinks it's going to do numbers, of course he's going to upload it to her channel, and it did. It was doing numbers. She was uncomfortable with it, but again, you recorded it. I don't get what the issue was, but okay, she didn't want it up there. It was her video and it's her body. So she was like, I would have preferred to not upload this video. But then all of these endorsements, brands start coming knocking. Hilary, we didn't know you had this in you, girl. We want to do some business with you. So Hilary is changing her mind completely. She like, oh shit, this video doing numbers. I might need to do this a little more often. Now, Jazz, y'all remember Jazz? He's so cute and small in this in this series, but he's cute. I'll give him that. Um, he was interested in Hilary up until this point. He's like, damn, she's selling her soul for these brand deals. She getting these endorsements. They're gonna pay me, I think she said $15,000 per post. I'm like, shit. I could be wrong. I could be mixing that number up. Whatever amount it was, I would do it. I would most certainly, if somebody would pay to watch my fat ass standing in the kitchen and making my grits and eggs, baby, I would definitely do it for that amount of money. Yes, I would. But okay, so now Hilary, boop, Hilary is out of the way. We didn't really see Ashley too much in this episode. So there's that. And Lysandra was saying that Hilary's problems are just beginning, and they probably are. She's going to continue to do more things that are, I guess, that will tarnish her brand as just trying to be. Uh, she's just trying to be recognized for her talent instead of for her looks, her body. But that's not the way her career is starting to go. And let me tell you, once you have made that sacrifice of going from, I'm going to just focus on my talent, to I'm going to wear something a little bit more risque. You push the button all the way when you go to lingerie. Once you put some lingerie on, you've already made up your mind that your brand is changing. And that is where she is. Her brand is changing at this point. Let me see what Sandra had. Her dad too. Now I'm missing some context, but while we talking about her dad, let's talk about her dad, because the reason why he's not at home at the party is because uh Vivian, and she's like, you know what? I'm taking a weekend to myself. I'm going to go to this art exhibit, and I'm going to take some time just for me. So she leaves and goes to an art exhibit. uh, Uncle Phil finds out that the old boy, I forgot his name, Reed, or I forgot his name, whatever his name is, the one that's played by Michael Ealy. Yeah. So Michael Ealy's character is gonna be at this art exhibit, and you said wait till he find out. Wait till he find out about Hilary. Yeah. Um, okay, so we got that on the back of our mind that he's going to eventually find out his baby girl is out here modeling lingerie while she is fixing her beautiful meals. But he got other things to deal with. The thing that he has to deal with is he know Michael Ealy, whatever that guy's name is, he know that character is going to be at this art exhibit, and the last thing he's going to do is let his wife walk into the belly of the beast without protection. So he meets her up at this art exhibit, and it's basically to block, hey Thomas, it's basically to block. He will try to make sure that this man don't walk into his, you know, trying to push up on his lady. Um, this is not complimentary at all. It's like you're not interested in the reason that I'm here, which is the art. You are only interested in making sure that I don't do anything stupid, like I'm just stupid. You are underestimating the intelligence of your wife, the intelligence and the talent of your wife. She checks him about this. She checks him about this, and he takes it pretty well. She told him he needs to dip. I'm not 100% sure if he did, but I do know that she went back down to the party, and she met back up with the Ely character. I'm just going to call him the Ely character because I don't remember his name. So the Ely character is like the devil in this situation. He is the temptation. He is showing her all the attention that she's not getting from her husband. So her husband, so now she's in a position where that grass is looking greener on the other side. That is the direction I don't want this series to take. Um, I do believe that it is. Uh, I do believe that it is. Oh, I'm looking for the words. I'm trying to pull the words out of the sky. Realistic. Yeah, I believe it's realistic to have your marriage tested, especially after you've been married for so long. The tests don't usually come in the beginning. The test usually comes somewhere in the middle, somewhere along the ride, and the marriage is being tested. I hope they don't go the direction of making Viv give in to this temptation because it takes them from being goals to just being a regular asshole couple. And when we're doing stuff and it is fictional, we could keep these people with their ideals and their morals kind of lofty as far as within the marriage. I would like to just one time, and I'm not saying this never happens, but I would like to see a black marriage be tested and survive the test. I don't think that it is realistic that every couple succumbs to the temptation. That's how I'm feeling about that plot point, and I'm pretty sure I'm being a little. I won't call it judgmental. I'm a little hopeful that things don't take that turn because it kind of tarnishes the relationship between Viv and Phil. And I was so much liking that there were some dysfunctions in the family because no family is fully 100% functional. But there weren't the regular tropes that you see in black series and black movies. So there's that. That's how I felt about that. Thank you for hitting the like button, Thomas. I don't know what's going on with I can't see y'all comments until maybe I need to do this. I appreciate you hitting the like button, sir. I had to make things a little smaller so I can see the comments and keep talking. So yeah, that's Bel-Air. Going back to the party because that's what it was again. This party. Connor Pumpkinhead Butt shows up at the dang on party. He wasn't even invited to the party. This was supposed to be an exclusive guest list, and I'm pretty sure Connor was not on this exclusive guest list. So what happens after the party is started? And it looks like it's going okay. It's not like a live party, but it's going okay. What happens? Connor comes. He makes one of his little funky statements, and Carlton goes in on him at the party in front of some of his classmates and some of his teammates. And the teammates and the classmates all chose Carlton over Connor. This pisses Connor off when he gets kicked out of the party. He can't just go home and just be like, oh, well, I got kicked out of a party. I've been kicked out of better places. He can't say that. He calls the police because, yep, he calls the police. So the police come and they treat Carlton like a visitor in his own home. Further, they are already they're like ready to take him in until coming from upstairs. And it's only a few things that's gonna go on upstairs at a house party. Y'all know that. If the party is downstairs and it's people upstairs, they trying to be alone. So when this situation with the police happened, this is when the party finds out that Will and Lisa were both upstairs. They were upstairs together. They was getting it on, and they wouldn't leave it till 6 in the morning. Yes, so some sexy time happened with these kids, and I don't know how I was supposed to feel about that. But uh, however I feel, I'm pretty sure Carlton feels worse. I feel like he and Will were starting to gel. They were starting to coalesce. They thought that this Lisa thing was behind them, and then here we are. Here we are. They didn't made their little relationship a little bit more solid. So that is how this episode ends. Carlton is giving the stank eye to Will and Lisa because he knows what went on upstairs. He knows. I mean, we all know what went on upstairs. So some things went on. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a conversation, a really big one next week about this situation. Excuse me, I'm going to yawn. So sorry. Me and my lack of sleep or sleep whenever I don't know. I have these issues, but yeah, that was it. Now there was a couple other little pieces to the plot, whereas where Lisa and Will have both been told by their parents. Well, Will's been told by Uncle Phil. Lisa's been told by her dad. Hey, Lisa, you need to find out why Will is even here. And then Uncle Phil is telling Will, hey, Will, you need to make sure you don't tell nobody why you're here. Oh, Lasandra said it's going down next week. Well, I mean, we got what, 2 episodes left, I believe, of the series. So yep. If something gonna happen, it needs to go on and happen like next week. Like the start of it has to be next week. But yeah, her father wants her to find out why Will is there because now they're using these kids as pawns in this political game that they're playing. Uncle Phil says, "Don't make sure you don't tell anybody why you're here," and that's putting the children in a bad position of keeping secrets from one another. They're kids. Why are we including them in this mess? I get it. You did some unscrupulous things to help your nephew, but that's to help your family. You know, yeah, we're going to see what happens next week. Now, if I was to give all the way up until right now, this episode, Bel-Air, if I was to give it a rating on my regular 5-point scale for Bel-Air, I think I would give the entire series so far, not just this episode. The entire series so far would get a 4.25. This episode actually made that point score lower, and the reason why is because this wasn't the best episode to me. It keeps things moving though. So if we can I guess I can appreciate that it keeps the series moving along. It gives us a little bit more to chew on. Um Give us some stuff instead of just drama. Give us something else to chew on. Uh I know that I am in the minority probably as a person who does not need drama every week for the show to be good. I think it was a good kind of bridge episode. Get us to where we need to be. That's where we at. Lysandra says she's giving it a 3.5, so she's thinking a little less. But I think 4.25 to include this series, to include this episode, I think I'm being fair. I'm not being, I'm not giving it too much and I'm not taking away too much. Oh, she said the series is a 4.5. The episode is a 3.5. I can agree with that. The episode is a 3.5. The series is a 4.5. And yeah, there we are. We have talked finally. Got somebody to talk Bel-Air with me for a little bit. So appreciate that, Lysandra. Um, we're going to see how it works out next week as far as bringing on the next episode. Because, again, yep, we have talked for 25 minutes and we did this entire episode. It is just me and you talking. If we can get some more people in here, I'll keep covering Bel-Air. We only got 2 episodes left. So before I move on to Star Trek Picard, because I know everybody is not everybody, but I know that most of the people in my group are looking for Star Trek Picard, Star Trek Discovery. This is what we're going to talk today. In just a minute, y'all know I'm trying to find something. Y'all know I always start stalling when I'm looking for something. So yeah, I do want to know though what you're watching. So let me know in the chat. Now's your time to shine. Tell me what you're watching. Now, what are you guys watching? New streaming, because I only talk streaming on this show. So what are y'all streaming this week? What's new on y'all list? For me, I talked the other day. I watched a movie called Fresh. There will be a review coming out within the next week or so. I watched The Atom Project, which I really enjoyed. So there will be a film review Friday video coming out this Friday coming up. There will be a video coming out for The Atom Project. I really enjoyed it. And I'll tell you all about why in that video. I also have begun watching The Dropout. That's the Elizabeth Holmes story. Young girl was actually the youngest female billionaire, self-made billionaire, for a little while, and she had this company called Theranos, and she was just doing big things. She started this company when she was like 19 years old, and she was scamming people. So again, just like I said about Simon Leviath with the Tinder swindler, these scammers, they starting off real young. How are they scamming people our age at 19 years old? Inventing Anna. I haven't done a video yet about that, but I will. There was a lot that I did watch that. That's on Netflix. Um, and there was a lot I didn't like about the series, but the story itself, this is a 20-something-year-old girl who came to New York and scammed the shit out of them. So I'm wondering to myself how these young people are able to pull the wool over our old eyes. Okay, so we have Inventing Anna, uh, we have The Dropout, and we have Simon Leviath. That's 3 consecutive stories, all younger people, all scamming folks. And I am thoroughly enjoying it. That'll be something that we could possibly look for a video for a More Than a Movie Monday, because, yep, that is how I have figured out the dilemma that I am in. My patrons, some of them do not have time for these live streams, and I get it. They want some videos and they're paying me. So I'm gonna make these videos for More Than a Movie Monday and Film Review Friday. Those will be videos. And I will do Picard and Strange New Worlds and the such as a video. So if you didn't know, this week there was a video review of Star Trek Picard. I have already uploaded that video. I did I did episode 1 and episode 2. So if you want to know the deep thoughts of what I had for Star Trek Picard, you can watch that video. I'm aiming people towards the video because the video needs views. However, if you just want to sit and have a loose discussion of the Picard episode, that's what we're gonna do today. Now, Star Trek Discovery, we only got this episode, and the next one we'll keep things just the way it's been. Picard is going to be my litmus test to see if people will watch the video and return on Sunday to converse about it a little bit more. So, since y'all don't got no what you watching, you ain't telling me nothing about what y'all watching. I'm gonna go ahead on and start picking up Picard. And Picard starts. Let me I'm still gonna wait another couple of minutes here for somebody, anybody, everybody to tell me what they are watching. Another show that I do, or another movie that I do want to watch is called Turning Red. Now that came out on on Disney Plus. That came out on Disney Plus this week. And I've been hearing wonderful things about this animated feature. It's a Pixar animated feature. It is one of the first ones to have the main character that we're following a young Asian girl. So I'm looking forward to watching that, and I will probably do a review on that as well because people are saying good things there. I've heard some bad things, but people are really saying a lot of good things about the movie. So I'm gonna check out Turning Red. I think I got a lot of stuff that I'm gonna check out. Lots of movies that are coming out on Hulu, HBO Max, Netflix, but that's probably next for me. Thomas is watching a lot of Star Trek. Yes, this is like Star Trek season. So if you are a Trek fan like we are, then you are probably living the dream right now. It's just so, yeah. It's so it's so much. Hell. It's so much. Okay. So I'm gonna talk about Picard here. Now, this is another one that was uh that was directed by Doug Arniakowski. Arniakowski. The teleplay was by Akiva Goldsman, Terry Matalas, and Christopher Monfetti. This one came out on March 10th, 2022, and Picard learns that he and his companions are in an alternate timeline where humanity has formed the xenophobic Confederation of Earth, systematically eradicating or enslaving alien races. Picard, the Confederation's greatest military commander, has been granted the honor of executing the last Borg Queen by Seven of Nine, who is the president of the Confederation and is married to the magistrate. Now, the magistrate is played by Soji and Dodge. Remember them from last season? They haven't had an awful lot to do with Soji. Hasn't had an awful lot to do this season, but that's her real life daddy that's playing the magistrate. Also, the uh, husband of the president, Seven of Nine. Anywho, the group reunite and learn from the Borg Queen that they can prevent the Confederation's formation by traveling to Los Angeles in 2024, which they can only do with the Queen's help. Agnes, Raffi, and Elnor take control of communication and transporter systems in Confederation headquarters, while Seven and Picard buy time at the public execution. As the crowd and the magistrate grow concerned with their stalling, the others complete their objectives, and Picard, Seven, Agnes, Raffi, Elnor, and the Queen are beamed to Rios's ship. They're preparing to initiate time travel when the magistrate and security officers beam aboard. They shoot and wound Elnor and prepare to execute them all for treason. That is where we are at with the story in Star Trek Picard. So it started off where it left off at last week with Picard and Q. Now, as you can see in this picture, Picard's nose is bleeding. That's because Q slapped him dead in the face. Now, that's different. I have never seen Q get violent. This Q is very different than the Q that we have seen in the Next Generation and Voyager, and even the one from Deep Space Nine, because the one from Deep Space Nine got his ass kicked. He wasn't kicking ass. But here we are. We have this version of Q is a bit of a jerk, and he hit Picard. Now, while they were out there talking, Picard and Q, an alarm goes off. The air is so polluted on this timeline of Earth that they have these air pollution kind of days, and the alarm blares. So that's what Picard goes outside to look at, like, what the hell is going on? And we also go into Picard's lounge, and in his lounge, he's collected some skulls in this timeline. Now, this first skull that we're looking at right at the forefront of the picture, is Gul Dukat. We find out that in this timeline, Gul Dukat is what made Picard end up needing that synthetic body. But Picard got the last laugh because, as you can see, Gul Dukat's head is in his lounge. So he lost. We also find out that he has Martok's head there. He also has Sarek's head there. And Sarek, of course, being the father of Spock, husband to Amanda, yeah, got his head in there too. And we see that he has the Grand Nagus of the Ferengi. He has his head. Now, I don't know which Grand Nagus it is because, yeah, there's no skin. There's no skin on it. So, yeah, but they have his head as well and his little stick. So those are things that are in the lounge of this version of Jean-Luc Picard. Now, Jean-Luc has told Q in this episode that I will not be a pawn in your silly game. And Q reminded him, you are not a pawn, sir. You are correct. You are the very board on which this game is played. So, to me, in my opinion, this is telling Picard that you are the most important piece to this puzzle. We can't even start the game without you. You are important. Tells Picard that there are some things that he might need to atone for. He might need to make amends for. He might need to perform some type of penance. And that is where we got the title to this episode. But we still don't have a clue of what it is that Picard needs to be sorry for that can straighten all of this out in 2024 Los Angeles. We shall see. Yeah, Picard, he's really looking like he is completely worried about this position that he's landed in, this person that he is in this timeline. This is something he never dreamed or imagined that he would be. And of course, I would have never dreamed and imagined that he could be this bloodthirsty, but here we are. We see him looking at some of his propaganda stuff that this version of Picard puts out propaganda. What does he say? The safest galaxy is a human galaxy. So it's basically letting us know that the plan for Earth is to ensure that they have conquered every planet in the galaxy and have pushed each one of those species almost probably to the point of extinction so that Earth can rule the galaxy. It's just a real weird take coming from Jean-Luc Picard. We find out the Seven of Nine, of course, we find out that she is the president of this confederation. After she did several tests, which were very seven of her, she did several tests to make sure that she wasn't dreaming. Once she realized that this ish was real, now she's got to figure out where everybody else is and how did she even get here in this alternate timeline. And all of these things, she's never been assimilated, so she doesn't have the Borg implants that she would typically have on her face and hand. She doesn't have it because she was never assimilated. She is not Seven of Nine in this timeline. She's Annika Hansen. So here she is sitting. She's thinking she needs to make a phone call. She needs to phone a friend. She doesn't know who she can get in contact with. She talks to her husband. The husband, this is the husband. She talks to her husband, and he tells her that, oh no, she asks him to put her in contact with a general that's out in the field, that's on the front lines, that's really in the midst of the war. Her husband says, the magistrate, he says, do you want me to contact General Cisco? And my heart jumped for literal joy. I really hope that we see Cisco, some version of Cisco. Doesn't have to be Ben. It could be Jake, right? Or it could be the other child that we never really got to know. It could be one of any three of these, or it could be the wife. The wife, I forgot her name. Cisco's wife. She could be the General Cisco as well. I am hoping that because in the trailers we saw this type of scene, this shirt, I don't know if that, it looks like something Cisco would wear, right? And this is a person with a darker complexion, right? Am I seeing things? I think it is. It doesn't necessarily, this is not to say that I'm saying for sure that this is Ben Cisco, but I am saying, God, how great will it be if this was Ben Cisco? We find out after Seven gets in contact with Rios that he is leading an attack on the Vulcan homeworld. And she says, okay, presidential orders, you can take your butt, you can bring your butt back to Earth because we got to figure out what the heck is going on. Rios is like, okay, because I have no clue. We out here literally killing Vulcans. Yeah, they in a whole different world. You ain't in Kansas anymore, Rios. There were some things on this slide here that I wanted to, I don't know what that means. Well, it's up there. I don't know what it means though, darling. on Twitch right now. We are seeing that leading the Andorian rebellion is Lieutenant Colonel Tasha Yar, which means that none of the stuff from TNG, none of that stuff happened. Tasha Yar is not only living, she's a lieutenant colonel, and she is leading the attack on the on Andor. We also see that there is a Dominion Alliance war, and I can't. That one is I think it's O'Brien is leading. I have to read it. The Dominion Alliance war. Yep, General Miles O'Brien. So O'Brien is leading the war against the Dominion. Colonel Cristobal Rios, that's our guy, Chris Rios. He is leading the Vulcan side of things. And then the situation for the Vulcans is the Vulcan Defense Forces have captured Confederation Company Delta 7 and are holding them in the northern foothills of Mount something. Company Delta 7 has the trigger for the Metreon Cascade, so they've got some kind of big weapon, and the Vulcan enemy is unlikely. Uh, I guess eradicating the Vulcan enemy is unlikely if we cannot retrieve that trigger. So that is one of the things that's going on. That's some of the stuff that's going on in this war. Um, and it's a war, it looks like, on three fronts at the absolute least, could be more, right? Okay, so picking back up, trying to figure out where our people are. Our people, to include Elnor. Elnor is a Romulan, and people are attacking Romulans on the street and trying to kill them. So he and this little girl, who, you know, shortly she gets, mm, shortly she's gonna get axed. But Elnor is talking to her. He is getting some exposition from her that, hey, we are on the run, but we won't be for long because something is going on. And they got these lights cascading and these explosions, and each explosion was for a different world. And we had Andor, we had Vulcan, we had Romulus, and we had, what was the last one? I can't remember. Andor, the Vulcans, the Romulans. There was another one, and I can't remember. I suck. So she got killed. So now, but Raffi runs into Elnor, and Raffi is the head of security of the Confederation of Earth. And of course, we know that she has gotten very close to Elnor, and she is quite fond of him. So she is not about to let anybody kill Elnor. So she pulls up, she pulls out her little phaser, and she takes out a little flank of security officers, and then she and Elnor are on the run. Then we have Girardi. Girardi is being, I guess I'm saying held. She's not being held. That's being a little. She is a scientist who works in a lab in like the basement of one of these Confederation buildings, and she works pretty much by herself. So she's lonely, and but she doesn't know what she's supposed to be working on. She's been transferred from this alternate timeline as well. Um, the only the only companion that she has is this little cat that she made, and the cat is voiced by Patton Oswalt. The cat's name is Spot 73, and Spot, of course, we remember as being the pet of Data. Data had a cat named Spot. This is Spot 73, so I hate to hear how many spots didn't make it. I guess 72. 72 spots didn't make it because Spot 73 is the one. And it was funny. It was a little comic relief in the middle of things. I liked it. Speaking of Data, this is not Data. This is Adam Soong. Adam Soong is a descendant of, is he a descendant? He is an ancestor of the creator of Data. So that's Soong. Can't think of his first name either. But they have a holographic uh, statue of him. He's holding up Earth, and he is saying the only safe galaxy is a human galaxy. So we are hearing a lot of this propaganda being shouted out to the inhabitants of Earth, and that they are basically they're almost brainwashing the citizens of Earth into believing that that there's danger out in the stars, when in all actuality it seems like Earth is the big danger. But I just thought this was a, besides the fact that it gives us that little tiny bit of, like, again, exposition, it tells us a little bit, gives us something to look forward to in meeting Adam soon. It's such a beautiful picture. Even though we're supposed to be in this dystopian society, this is a beautiful, beautiful image. And I just wanted to share that one. Now, everybody meets up. Everybody gets together and meets up at in Girardi's lab, where we find out that the last piece to this puzzle is the Borg Queen. And if we look at her now, she looks nothing like the Borg Queen that we saw last week. This Borg Queen looks more traditional. She looks more like the one that we're used to. Not this Borg Queen last week was all in black. Yeah. So I think that this Borg Queen and that Borg Queen are two different entities, but only time will tell. We see also 7 of 9 facing off with the Borg Queen, and she knows the Borg Queen well. Now, the Borg Queen doesn't know this iteration of 7 because this iteration of 7 had never been assimilated, but she does have information on um, 7 of 9 from Voyager, that the one that had been assimilated. And now we see this wild group of people. I wonder if this could happen. Like, we see this wild group of people, they are shouting and screaming in a very barbaric manner. They are cheering, waiting on Picard to put a bullet in the head of the Borg Queen. Now, remembering that this is our Picard, not the Picard that belongs in this timeline, this Picard can't do that. He's just not built for being a cold-blooded murderer. They are stalling for time, waiting on Rios to be able to get a transporter lock onto them to beam them aboard the La Serena. And of course, again, we're seeing Jean-Luc Picard. This is a position that he never wanted to be in. This is not his steez. This is not his stilo. This is not something that he does. Finally, Rios is able to lock on to their biocides and beam them up to the La Serena. Of course, before they are able to put their plan into motion, which the plan is to slingshot around the sun, before they can put this plan into motion, they have to get the Borg Queen hooked up to Rios's ship so that she can assist with doing the jump. And while they are trying to get that all settled, a boarding party from Earth has come onto the ship, and they are looking. They have shot Elnor, wounding him, and they are looking to take the rest of this team into custody. That's where we leave off. We know that they get out of this situation because you have seen the trailer for the season. So we know they get out of this situation. The question is how. And yeah, we going into next week. Next week's episode is called Assimilation. I don't know anything else about it. I just know that that's the name of the next episode. But yeah, these are things as we move forward. I hope to learn, and I named a few of the questions off in my review that I put the video up for. You can check that out. But yeah, I have questions, and those questions, most of them, I'm trying to remember all of them. One of them is, what does Picard have to atone for? What has he done, or what didn't he do that he needs to make amends for? And then number 2, what is the plan that the Borg Queen seems to have for Girardi? She has she has taken an interest in Girardi, and I think that she's got something up her sleeve. Girardi and her have some things in common. Girardi and the Borg Queen. So we're going to see what her plans for Girardi are. And I just want to see how they get up out of this. What is in Los Angeles 2024 that would make this make sense? That they have to go back and change something. If there is a situation where we get Cisco in this series, where let me fix my mouth. Where will we see him? A part of me is wondering hey, is it going to be at those kind of homeless camps that we saw in and I forgot the name of the episode of Deep Space Nine of Deep Space Nine that it was, but yeah, I'm wondering if we're going to see that played out. That where it won't be, we'll see Cisco, but he won't be Cisco. He'll be the guy that was in the camp. If y'all remember what episode I'm talking about, I wish I had a producer here with me. But yeah, I don't know if that was in Los Angeles though. That could have been San Francisco. But yeah, that was it for me for Star Trek Picard, and I don't have none of my regulars here to make this conversation last a little longer. So I'm just gonna move right on to Star Trek Discovery. Let's see, but I gotta pull something up before I can. Yep, pull this up so I can talk about this penultimate episode of season 4 of Star Trek Discovery. Gosh, this went by. I wish I could say quick. Um, but yeah, we're at species 10C. Species 10C. Before we go through the pictures, this one is Olatunde Osunsanmi. Yeah, he directed. Cal Jarrell wrote it. This one also came out March 10th, 2022. It is episode 12 of season 4. Discovery releases the hydrocarbon representing peace onto the hyperfield. It is soon pulled into the structure and surrounded by an unknown substance. Members of species 10C respond with more hydrocarbons and a light pattern, which the crew deciphers as a bridge language. Similar to Linko's that uses mathematical equations, 10C uses the language to question why the DMA was destroyed by Tarka's weapon, and the crew are able to communicate their fear of the DMA. On Book's ship, Tarka plans to use Ndoye to ignite a plasma stream from Discovery that will allow them to escape the substance and fly directly to the DMA's power source. Reno realizes that if Tarka takes the power source now, it's going to destroy the hyperfield and everything inside it, and it's going to likely still destroy Earth and Navarre. Book confronts Tarka about this, but Tarka uses his upgrades to the ship to restrain Book. As the crew of Discovery attempt to ask 10C to withdraw the DMA, Ndoye enacts Tarka's plan and Book's ship escapes. The 10C members stop communicating. Reno is able to get a message to Burnham explaining Tarka's plan. And that is where we end. Gosh, my face is itching. That's where this episode ended. So as we can see here, these are the hydrocarbons that they were speaking about. Each color represents a different emotion or fear. Emotion or feeling that are typical. And it's like 16, I think. There are 16 of these hydrocarbons. So these are just examples of each one and what they could potentially mean if they were to release it to the 10C. So what they are trying to do in this picture is load up these dots and send them out to the hyper shield, where they can spray on this hyper shield the hydrocarbon that represents peace. And here we are doing it now. I'm going to say that these dots are let me see what Angus is saying. 10C deliberately made their first communication more complicated than it needed to be. They made it that way as a test. Okay, so the dots, they are spraying the hydrocarbon that represents peace onto the outside of this hyper shield and or hyper field or whatever we're calling it. 10C grabs them and brings them in. Just, I guess they want to examine the technology. In the meantime, Zora has been explaining that she has been feeling some type of way. Something has happened to her. She feels a bit off. And she's like, the last person who will have done some system work on me would have been Reno when she was fixing the replicators, right? Oh, well, let's talk to Reno then. I'm so glad somebody decided they wanted to talk to Reno. Let's talk to Reno then. Where's Reno? Oh, Reno is in engineering. So they go down to engineering, and Colbert is looking for Reno. Adira is telling him, oh no, I've been down here all day. I haven't seen Reno once. Maybe Stamets found her. Colbert just takes a look around and finds her comm badge lodged underneath this grill going into these Jeffrey tubes. So, anywho, now they realize Reno ain't on the ship. She's just not here. Now we got that plan, or that we got that mystery to solve. You said that grabbing of the dots and discovery may have been the hyperfield's airlock. I guess that's a possibility too. Yeah. So over on Bookship, of course, remember we got Reno. She's being held hostage. The problem is you got Reno on this ship, and she knows better than anybody how to read these schematics and do the math. So she realizes that Tarka is full of crap. Tarka knows that once he takes this the power device, the power mechanism off of this DMA, that it is going to it's going to explode everything. It's going to explode the 10C, the hyperfield, the discovery, and then everything that happens out there in near Earth in Navarre. That's the subspace. Oh gosh, the rifts in subspace will continuously will still pose a threat. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. It will continue to be a threat to Earth and Navarre. He is not holding up his end of the bargain, period. Right? Period. And she realizes that. This right here, I called this to myself in my mind. I was like, look at this. They got the little Justice League shot. This is what that reminds me of. It's not a complete shadow like the Justice League would have there, but it does look like that is the type of feeling that this is supposed to invoke. So now we have the 10C approaching the ship, and everybody's looking up. Everybody's looking up because the 10C is a big species, and they're coming and with these light patterns, and the light patterns are their means of communication. But in order for the Discovery team to communicate, they have to decipher what these light patterns mean, and how using the lights and the hydrocarbons will be a way of communicating with the species. Again, this is giving us the scale of how big these things are because everybody is looking up. You see, even Saru, the tallest thing in there, everybody's looking up. Now, we do find out that the easiest way to communicate with uh, with any unknown species would probably be a universal language, and the universal language is math. So if you suck at math, guess what? You wouldn't be able to communicate with these beings. Um, Math, universal language, that's one thing that doesn't change no matter where you are. 1 plus 1 is always going to equal 2. No matter what country you're in, no matter what planet you're on, 1 plus 1 is always going to be 2. And other mathematical equations are the same. So we're again seeing them. I guess we got a lot of them looking up, but they know that they have to communicate through math. They set up a few very simple equations first, and and then they move into things that are more complicated. But after they have solved the first very simple equation. Okay, you said in binary. I don't speak binary. 1 plus 1 equal 10. But those people who are very well versed in binary mathematics, bless your heart. I don't have no there. I ain't got it. It's not me. I know that that's what we speak in computers. The computer people, ones and zeros. But yeah, they start off with a simple equation. Um, Discovery sends a very simple equation first, and then they start trying to communicate ideas through their mathematics. I thought that was an excellent idea, an excellent way of executing first contact with a species who this universal translator doesn't work with. How do we get in contact with them? Universal language, make it math. This was weird. This was a situation where, of course, the only people that Burnham is really used to letting her hair down with and being herself are the members of the crew that jumped with her uh, from the original timeline. Excuse me, sorry. Um, so yeah, so she's letting her hair down with Saru. Saru teaches her this whole yelling thing. So I guess we got something useful out of Tarka, right? uh Angus said Zora in that moment becomes their universal translator. And I'm not even 100% sure about that, right? Because I don't know, because they couldn't take Zora. And I had a problem with why they couldn't take a dot that had been programmed, with some of Zora's functions in. But yeah, it looks like, they couldn't take Zora, so she wasn't the universal translator. They were going to have to do this purely by mathematics. But I did have a feeling that they could have taken a dot, or they could have, there had to have been a way that Zora could have been with them without actually being with them. And you say they couldn't have done it without Zora. Yeah, in the initial stages, yes, but they still took them into like that little simulated uh environment that looks like their bridge. They took them in that the 10C did, and there was no Zora. but they still had to communicate. So yeah, Zora would have been it would have been really nice to have her in the hyperfield with them, but excuse me. But they took her, they left her behind because it was too dangerous, I guess. I don't know. Okay, so all of this working at trying to discover a way to communicate with this species, it all becomes for naught because at a point, Tarka just gets impatient and he sounds the alarm for Ndoye to start venting that plasma so that they can get off of Discovery's hull, and and then they head their silly butts right on into the hyperfield, which I don't get. I don't understand why they Ndoye knew that they were starting to communicate. You said Tarka had to piddle in everyone's Wheaties. Yep. Tarka sounds the alarm, but I mean, he could. Now, this is to me, he couldn't have done it without Ndoye. So, in that situation, Ndoye is equally as complicit as Tarka. This was something that shouldn't have been done. The communication had begun between Discovery and 10C, and they probably would have been very much on the path of getting this thing resolved. We see Book, who has been betrayed by Tarka and now is locked up with Reno. I liked Reno in this episode. I liked everything that they gave her to do. But I also look at it like, look who is on this ship. It's Reno, who we only see once every 3 or 4 episodes, right? It's Book, who is not even a member of the Federation and who is possibly an expendable character. And then there is Tarka, who I don't know about anybody else, but I don't expect to see Tarka make it through this season. I think by the end of the season, by next week, Tarka will be dead. So you got 3 people who are kind of expendable in the world of Star Trek Discovery. A little part of me thinks that this is going to be a sacrifice. Now, another part of me says that Books being there, and this is a conversation that I've had with Angus over on the Discord. And if you're not a part of the Discord, you can look in the show notes. I don't know if I put them in there. I might have put the link in there. I might not have. If not, I suck. I'll get it for you though. But Book is empathic, so he may be able to communicate with this. He may be able to communicate with these people if they are if he comes face to face with the 10C, because he can get their feelings. And I'm going to put the thing for the Discord in the chat. So if you would like to join the Discord, the invitation is right there. Right there. So yeah, but that was one of the conversations that we had that what's his name? Book could very well be the thing that saves everybody. But a little part of me says he also they could be getting ready to exit all 3 of them out of this series. We shall see. We shall see. I hope I'm wrong. And that is all the photographs that I had for today. I do want to go back. Nope. But yeah, but that is pretty much Star Trek Discovery this week. Now, my Star Trek Picard rating If I was giving Star Trek Picard a rating, it would be a 5 out of 5. My Star Trek Discovery rating, if I'm giving Star Trek Discovery a rating, it's going to be a 4.5 out of 5. This was a better episode. It is still, however, it was a better episode than last week's episode, but it's still not moving at the right pace. It's like this season, this entire season, after the hiatus especially, has just had pacing issues. And we're one episode away from the series, from this season being over, and it just seems like we it just seems like we're doing the most to get the least. I would like to, let's move into the next phase of this problem, this communication with 10C. I wanted to see something resolved. Does, you know, yeah, this is like, and I'm scatterbrained because I'm working off of very little sleep here. But yeah, there's just so many things that could have been done differently. We shouldn't be just learning this stuff, or shouldn't just be encountering the species the episode before the end, you know? So yeah, those are my thoughts. I don't know if you guys got anything else. If you don't, we can meet back here. I'm gonna say meet back here just for an open Star Trek, Stargate, Star Wars discussion on Tuesday at 6 p.m. So we can do that Tuesday, 6 p.m. Central Time. We'll do a loose Stargate, Star Trek, Star Wars discussion. Get some of our thoughts and theories out there and put them in the air to share those thoughts with each other. I also have a guest coming on that show who's going to talk to us a little bit about anime. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that. If you wanted to know my extensive thoughts on Picard, that video is on the After the Snap Movies and TV YouTube channel. Um, Star Trek. Okay, Thomas, I'm glad. I'm glad you were still here to hear that. But yeah, I'm trying to think. Oh, but yeah, outside of that, I don't have much else. Yeah, anime, because there's a young lady, you know how Twitter is. If you're looking to collaborate with somebody, a lot of times uh you can find somebody on Twitter who would be willing to come in and give your show a little flavor. And she is the young lady that's coming over is uh an anime expert. So like I kind of feel like I'm the expert in the MCU, or that, or maybe Star Trek even too. I think I have some good takes on Star Trek, but but the way I feel like I'm that expert, she is an anime expert, but then she does also has interest in the MCU, Star Wars, and DC. So she could be a part of that conversation as well. We just gonna have a good old fandom talk. Good old fandom talk. Uh, yeah, I hope they do. I hope so, because yeah. But even if it doesn't, it gives us something to talk about as well. Like we'll have a new person to bounce ideas off of. She knows that I am very limited in my understanding or appreciation for anime. And part of her plan is to set me up with a regimen that she thinks that I can follow. So yeah, I don't have anything else, and let me tell you, I am exhausted. It's like nothing is working as far as putting me to sleep and letting me stay that way. Nothing is working. So Maybe I need to start exercising, and I think I do. That always gets me tired in such a way that I have no choice but to go to sleep at a reasonable hour. But right now, I'm just not feeling it. I'm so tired. I've been tired for two consecutive. I'm saying 2 days, but it's just the 2 days that I'm supposed to be doing. Um, the 2 days that I'm supposed to be doing shows Saturday, Sunday, back to back. I'm just so exhausted, and I'm going to do what I can to get some sleep so that Tuesday I'm a better host. You said Star Wars Rebels. That is something that we have also been mulling around. Is doing a Rebels watch. So Clarence had mentioned that I should do Stargate as a roundtable discussion, and I'm like, that probably would work, but I need to like more ideas on a direction. So I'll pick his brain, or anybody, if you want to give me an idea on how to conduct this roundtable for Stargate. Go over to the Discord and join the Discord and let me know your thoughts. Because I'm looking for, I'm looking for ways to keep adding things in. And then Star Wars Rebels, because I've been watching it, and I've gotten back into the old uh X-Men. So that's what, I put the picture up last night, Angus, when I was watching the X-Men. That's what I went to sleep on, and I watched probably 4 episodes before I fell asleep. I was so tired, but I watched 4 episodes. They had the Days of Future Past, the animated. So I watched a few episodes of X-Men, and I've been watching a few episodes of Rebels as well. So that's something that we might do a watch, especially since we know May 25th is coming. Let's get some Clone Wars or Rebels. Let's get some talk in so that we can be prepared for Obi-Wan Kenobi. Okay, but other than that, I don't have anything else. I do appreciate everybody for hanging out with me today, for making it. Even you came in on the back end, Angus, you knew that Star Trek talk was coming. Then I appreciate you all for being here. And let me see. You said Ezra Bridger is a fascinating Padawan. I am finding that out. Uh, Finding it out, and his I would say the Jedi Master. Is he a Jedi Master? I don't know his name. The guy that's supposed to be training Ezra. Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit more on Tuesday. I'm about to get up out of here. I gotta go to bed. I gotta go to bed. So I will talk to everybody in the next episode. I appreciate you for being here. See you in the next one. Peace.